and tacos and, oh, God, everything you can imagine, and like a Lone Star beer or something with sweat coming down the bottle. And I just remember looking at and thinking, I'm going to buy this and take it home and listen to it. And it was on the London label, if you remember the old London label, one of the originals. And took this thing home and played it, and what came out of my speakers was incredible. The guitar was meaty, and it just had feeling. And I was like, wow, I'm hooked. And then I discovered a man by the name of B.B. King. And that's a whole different style, man. See, that's the thing about blues, it's all different styles. I felt the chime in. Who was that? Was that you, Spider?
Not yet. I'm still listening very closely.
Okay. But how about you, Joe? What were you, because you had a little different experience than I did. Who got you first with guitar?
Guitar? Oh, man. You mean in that style or guitar period?
Yeah, but any kind of style blues. There's so many. We'll get to that. But what was your first? Was it a guitar at all? Maybe it was the harmonica that caught your ear.
Oh, no. I gravitated to guitar right away. I mean, after I decided that the piano and the accordion weren't the thing for me, then the guitar happened, But even though he's pretty mainstream, I liked a lot of what Clapton did and still does. So I think he'd be probably one of the people that I really. There's one other guy that I found out about later, though, that I didn't know about. Once I started finding out about Fleetwood Mac, in the early days, way before Lindsey Buckingham, there was a guy in Fleetwood Mac by the name of Peter Green back in the late 60s. And
I knew you were going to go there. What a great one.
I loved Fleetwood Mac's mainstream stuff, and I still do, because that's what I found out about first. But then I got a book on Fleetwood Mac, all about them, and in the back of the book was a discography of all their albums, and I thought I got to find out what some of the earliest albums were, and there was an album listed called "Then Play On." One hell of a CD. Of course, it was re-released on CD, and I got it. And oh my God, Peter Green, that guy, he's so sweet. He plays so sweet and tasteful, and I really like everything I ever heard from him.
Was that the album that had "Oh Well" on it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, typical, amazing.
Yes, it was the long version. And here's another thing. I don't know. You might know this if you guys like the blues. You're more into it than I am. So you might know this, but I found out also once listening to the early Fleetwood Mac stuff that they originally did and wrote and did the song Black Magic Woman. That song was made popular by Santana, and everybody thinks that was a Santana song, but it's not. That song is originally a Fleetwood Mac song. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't actually.
That is originally. You look it up, man. You look it up because if you ever heard it by them, it's different than the way Santana does it, and it's so good. It's just you'd like it.
And it's like, Spider said how he felt that blues was evident in almost every kind of music, and I 100% agree with that. There's so many styles, and that's what fascinates me about it. I mean, me personally, I listen to everything. It's hard to find something I don't listen to. There are a few things, but I mean, I like jazz and blues and rock and country and Motown. I'll even do classical when I'm in the mood. But the blues is kind of special.
Yeah.
Well, even in say, like I'm big into electronic music myself, and even some of the larger, like from the 80s, like bands like Depeche Mode, who were big into synthesizers and things, have a definite blues influence. Even going so
I'm
far
sure
as
Trent
having,
Reznor.
Oh, yeah.
Trent Reznor played the blues every now and then, because I've heard a little bit in his music, you know.
He actually still knows how to play the saxophone, which is something not a whole lot of people know either. He played the saxophone in college, Allegheny
told me
College.
about that. I never got to hear him do that. Do you have a piece in mind that we can check out? Or
well, most of the work where he did that wasn't officially released. It's all like it's off kind of stuff. I don't think it ever saw really a commercial release of any kind, but you can kind of find it trawling the internet. I'll have to take a look and find some band names for you that he was in so you can kind of listen.
Fantastic.
Because he definitely had that blues feel to it when he was playing, judging by the songs that I've heard.
The only tie I have to him, this is really funny, I had a guitar student who loved Nine Inch Nails and all kinds of music, by the way, but at Christmas time one year, he's like, what do I get Johnny? He's a guy who like has everything, and yet there's got to be something cool out there. And I guess this was around year 0 was released.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that 7 years ago, maybe 8 years?
About, I'd say about eight.
I'm thinking it was around that time. Now, could it have been the tour before it or that tour? One of them, I guess Trent said, you know what? I'm going to take all my gear from this tour and I'm just going to sell it on eBay.
True. Yep. He sold it for charity.
Yeah,
really?
I think that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my goofy friend goes on and he says, okay, I'm going to pick up something. He got me a MIDI keyboard. There's no sounds in it. It's just a controller. And he wraps it up, you know, and I open it up at his house, and he says, Merry Christmas. I can't figure it out for the life of me what it could possibly be. It's this big old package, you know. So I rip it open and everything, and it's a keyboard, and I'm like, no way. And I noticed, like, there's a black soot on it, you know, and he goes, yeah, he goes, that black soot is it's kind of intentional. He goes, it's Trent Reznor's, and it's from the Flash Pots. I was speechless and laughing at the same time. I was like, "Oh my god!" But you know when blues can show up in you know gothic or industrial or you know some kind of music, it's the real deal, and it definitely is an influence.
Definitely.
But I like all kinds. I mean, just think of all the styles that are out there. You know, you have your West Coast. That's you know. Real jazzy blues, jump blues, you know, piano stuff, and I love the guitar solos because they're all beboppy jazz sounding, and you have like you know artists like T-Bone and Big Joe Turner, Etta James, Johnny Guitar Watson, that kind of thing. Love the death out of that. You got East Coast blues, the New York blues style and thing. You got B.B. King coming out of there. He's my all-time favorite, you know. Blind Boy Fuller. You have horn players like Benny Carter, Louis Jordan. More modern day adaptations. You have Blues Traveler, another really. And you know, what do you think of their lead singer and harmonica player Joe?
It's good.
He's got it going on. I mean, he's a serious. You know,
I like as far as style of playing guitar-wise, B.B. King had a very, very unique vibrato in his leads and his guitar. You knew when you heard B.B. King, you knew it was him right away. Of course, you know that with a lot of guitarists, you know. But B.B. King's style was really very out front as far as. With the vibrato that he had in his leads, it was very. It
was unique.
You knew who it was right away.
For sure. So you know that East Coast thing was really good, and one of the offshoots was the Piedmont blues, which is all about the finger style, alternating thumb bass lines and cool things like that for guitar players. And Joe and I both have a lot of love for players in that vein. You know, we're talking
I love the acoustics.
Chet Atkins. Right, Tommy Emmanuel.
Well, Chet did everything.
All that, right? I mean, all that like guitar rag stuff. It's incredible. There's so much to learn and to appreciate. But I got to be honest. I think the earliest example of that for me, though, believe it or not, is a little hippie here. Everybody Call Up Colorado and Get Out Your Rolling Papers was the song Alice's Restaurant from Arlo Guthrie. If you can remember that song.
That was more of a folky thing, but great guitar work. Great guitar work. But then you have
definitely
people,
Piedmont blues, you know.
Then you have people that do the style that's, I guess you call it maybe extreme. People like Django Reinhardt. I mean, that's a style all its own too. Nobody else ever did anything quite. Matter of fact, Les Paul, I remember hearing on an interview, said he looked up to Django Reinhardt. He said Django was like one of the best guitarists in ever lived. He said with what he did, and from what I heard, I don't think he had all of his fingers even. And he did more with less fingers than I could ever do with all of mine.
Which just proves you shouldn't try to hail a cab with that finger.
No, you shouldn't.
But I mean, you know, we have East Coast, West Coast. There's so many kinds of blues. There's Chicago blues, which is like the 50s.
Muddy Waters.
Yeah, you're talking Muddy Waters. You're talking Bo Diddley, Buddy Guy, Elmer James, Jimmy Johnson, Albert Collins. One of my favorite bands, this is from Joe's era, 70s, and I love that too, by the way, is Climax Blues Band.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't consider them blues, though, really. I mean, they're I don't know what, you know, it was more of a pop kind of a thing, but they were, like that.
That's the point. Blues reaches out into other styles, and that's what makes it truly a marvelous thing. But that Chicago blues, you know, you have Little Walter, the harmonica player. Oh my goodness, that's royalty.
Do you ever hear of a guy by the name of Levy, Howard Levy?
Boy, is that ringing a bell.
Unbelievable harmonica player. I swear he can get notes. I mean, he could play a regular harmonica and make it sound like a chromatic. I don't know how he does it. He just bends everything. I swear his harmonicas probably only last one gig. You know, he probably has to get a new harmonica every job. But he oh man, unbelievable player. Look him up sometime, Howard Levy. Look him up and listen to some of the stuff he's done. It's just amazing.
Joe and I are in the Pocono area, you know, and we have a lot of ski resorts and things of that nature. A lot of blues fest in the summertime. And
yes,
I think, were you with me when we saw Charlie Musselwhite?
I never went to the Blues Fest. I've never been to it. And it's big. It's really big. They have groups from like, you know, international, or not international, but national groups from all over the country that come there. And it's pretty nice, I've heard. I've never been there.
I remember hearing Musselwhite going to town on a piece, and we were riding the ski lift in the summer. You know, they give you rides all day long, and we were coming down the mountain, and just the whole cavern was filled with the sound of his harmonica. It was a thing to behold. It was really, really awesome. But, you know, that's all a lot of that Chicago style. And, you know, of course, the Blues Brothers, Matt Guitar Murphy, he's from that tradition. One of my favorites recently is something they call Hill Country Blues. That would be like your northern Mississippi kind of deal. And I saw it originally on Sun Studio Sessions, which airs on public television.
That's a pretty good show.
It really is. I mean, Sun Studios, of course, the home of Elvis and Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, okay? And they still have a lot of stuff going on there. In fact, you can still record there. I actually did the legwork and found out about it because we just had the big old Fitty birthday, and what I want to do is go down there to celebrate. So I'm going to celebrate it at 51 because I don't think it's going to happen in the budget this year, to be honest. But when I go down there, I'd like to get in and try to do a cut while I'm down there, even if it's just an acoustic guitar and a vocal kind of a thing, you know, and hopefully release it on an upcoming project.
You know, another guy, another group guy, I guess, that's with blues that is really, and I think a nice sound. Keb Mo, really, really nice stuff too. I like that.
Oh yeah, and that would be newer stuff too, you know.
Yep.
So
yeah.
There's a lot of hope out there for music, always, and you just have to look a little harder, I think, nowadays to find what's out there.
That's the great thing about the internet, though. With YouTube, holy cow, you can hear anything. It's all there, man. It's all there.